James, do the naysayers have a point, or should there be a bit of realism here in how far David Moyes has taken them?
Yeah, well, it's important to remember that David Moyes started his second spell in charge in December 2019, 18 months after he was replaced by Manuel Pellegrini. West Ham were just 1 point above the relegation zone, actually only remained above it by goal difference when the season halted for COVID, but they sealed survival with one match left to go when football did resume that summer. Success really did come, though, in his first full season. West Ham secured a first top six finish in more than 20 years, and that was boosted by the signing of Jesse Lingard and Tomas Soucek in January that year. It ensured Europa League football the following season. West Ham reached the semi-finals of that competition. Unfortunately, defeat to Brighton on the final day of the Premier League campaign that season meant they missed the chance to compete in the Europa League again, but finishing 7th did put them in the Europa Conference League. Last season was a real struggle in the league. Moyes battling to try and keep West Ham up, whilst also challenging in Europe's third-tier competition. Finishing 14th, stayed off relegation, but more importantly, winning the Europa Conference League. That gave West Ham their first major trophy in more than 40 years. So here we are now, 10 matches left to play. West Ham, they still sit 7th, still remain in the Europa League. They'll need to turn around a one-goal deficit tomorrow night. So there's still a good chance that West Ham and David Moyes can end this season with silverware, but also yet more success.
Yeah, I understand. I fully understand that fans want to be entertained. They go to football to enjoy it, but surely they enjoyed the final in the Europa Conference League last season. And West Ham tried this route with Manuel Pellegrini. Didn't kind of work out, did it? So what do you want? Do you want to play, you know, this free-flowing football that Burnley try and be in the position they're in, or do you want to be pragmatic and try and win things?
Well, that's the difficulty, isn't it? There's a number of teams that do try and play more expansive football, and they've suffered in recent years. The Manuel Pellegrini issue is quite interesting because although they were in a bad position when David Moyes took over, they did finish 10th in his only full season in charge of West Ham. What was really the issue then was their recruitment. I think Manuel Pellegrini was working alongside the director of football, Mario Hercillos, who he'd worked alongside at Malaga, and they signed a number of players who have proven to be quality players elsewhere in Felipe Anderson, Pablo Fornals, Seb Haller, Andriy Yarmolenko, but only really Fornals of those four worked out at West Ham. I mean, Seb Haller has done exceptionally well at Ajax, come back from cancer, done well at Dortmund, but it didn't feel like the right signings for West Ham at the moment. Director of football now at West Ham is Tim Steedton, who was at Bayer Leverkusen beforehand. There were supposedly reports during the summer that him and Moyes didn't necessarily see eye to eye in terms of signings. I think the signings that they did end up bringing in, whoever they were, or whoever brought them in, have actually landed really effectively at West Ham. It just feels like maybe West Ham fans have slightly got to the end of their tether with the style of play and do want something else, but at the same time it does carry that risk, as you rightly point out.